redlining didn't stop until 1968. So for 3 successive generations, those families couldn't sell their real estate, they couldn't get a home mortgage loan, they couldn't participate in the economic system that somebody in a green neighborhood or a blue neighborhood could. That's a fact. They asked us to analyze redlining in Kansas City, and I'm like, yeah, I could tell it happened right here. How could I tell? Well, you see all the value right there, and when you cross one street, that's like their version of Atlantic Boulevard. It's a street called Troost. Look at how fast it drops off right there. And sure enough, when you pull up the redline map, I've dropped Troost Avenue on the map. You see east of Troost is heavily redlined. So what ended up happening in that community was this economic punishment of all this loss of real estate. So you see, this is just in the redline neighborhoods. These little freckles are all vacant parcels. So from a taxable standpoint, when you have dirt and you have a building on it, the building's where all the money's coming from taxes. You remove the building, you lose your value. So we said to them, like, you did this to yourself. This is the amount of vacant land that you have in Kansas City, Kansas. That's 7 square miles. If you push all the housing together in Missouri, it's 7 square miles. This is land where you're paying for a road, you've got a garbage truck going by, you've got to plow it, and you've got no taxes coming off of it. That is the same size as Gladstone, Missouri right there, which is 20,000 people. So they're telling me they have a housing problem. I'm like, yeah, you could solve it right there. There you go. So if you look at the model and tapestry the red line back onto it, and remember, we stopped doing this before I was born. And here you are, green, blue, yellow, you see it drop precipitously, and this takes a haircut in half into the red line neighborhoods. Still today, you have this problem. So in Kansas City, Kansas, they asked us to dig a little deeper. This is a neighborhood called Quindaro, about a half square mile, 732 vacant lots, pulling an average value of $400 for a parcel. That parcel is paying $40 a year in taxes. Not much. When you put a building on it, it's not much better. It's $17,000, but if you do the math on that, $17,000 is 40 times more than the vacant parcel. So there's the recipe for success. If you actually start building housing back in the neighborhood, this could work. But we wanted to put a fine point on the costs of that decision. So their community decided to follow those policies created by our federal government. This is the value of the houses back in 1934. So we just did a little economic fun, gluing the houses back on the property and just saying, well, if these folks just stayed in their house and paid taxes and just were allowed to do what every other neighborhood was allowed to do, how much taxes would you have collected in this one neighborhood? And that's about $30 million. So the choice that their community did to follow racist policies was to write a check for $30 million and flush it down the toilet. That's what it cost in this one neighborhood. To take it from a declining position to leveling it will only take 18 houses. Start small. Find a way to work with the property owners in this neighborhood. Surely there's somebody in the neighborhood that wants to be a builder. Help them build 18 houses. You owe that neighborhood some repair because of the damage you caused it. Work with the folks. So this is a history and a legacy that's through every American city. You all didn't have a red line map, but it kind of rhymes. So this is your 1973 map of your community, and there's your Northwest CRA identified in 1973 as a blighted area. So this happened because of the bank systems followed the exact same patterns in every community. Financiers just stole the policies. What they were doing in Miami, they went ahead and did here in Broward County. So this is your race map in your East District. White folks are kind of a dark tan, black folks are yellow, and you see in the Northwest neighborhood, it's predominantly a black neighborhood. This is a pattern that was done in this neighborhood, and you need to come up with tools beyond the downtown to help this neighborhood out. And that's a legacy effect of the redlining.
All right. We back. And as y'all know, we always like to give you something to think about. That was a long one, but it was necessary that I play it for today.
You got to break it down to me too now, because that was all foreign to me. So
I went to Joe Minicozy. The city brought him in to do a presentation about redevelopment and what a downtown could be. And this was it's on YouTube. Like, that was just a clip from it. But it's a whole presentation he did about redevelopment, building downtowns, and all of this stuff. And he's an urbanist, something like an urbanist or something. So I was sitting there, and like when he touched on that, it was, for me, he saw us and he made that presentation fit around why this downtown is necessary, but then also what happened to us in the community as far as economic warfare and how we were kept out of generational wealth through redlining and stuff. But it's a whole presentation. I'll send you the link to it. But he's talking about how when you build up, when you're building, and how it helps increase the community. Anything that's by water, the property value is better. So that's why the beach folks out there, that you see the height, that's showing you where those taxes are coming back in, because their real estate is valued more because they're by the beach, which historically we were on the beach first, right? And then we got pushed out to the Northwest, right? Here we are now where the Northwest has an opportunity, but it's all through a history of economic warfare. So it's a lot, and Kim is actually the expert, I would say, which is why I wanted her to come on. But you guys brought Joe Minicozy in, so tell us more, because I just tried to break it down the way I understood it, but you tell us.
We did, and we being the CRA city. You picked one portion of that whole hour-plus presentation, and it was one of the more powerful ones because it gives you the history of that term redlining. Right. And in all the CRAs that we've worked in throughout the states, you'd be surprised how prevalent that redlining is. I mean, back in the city of Fort Lauderdale, when we worked there, same thing. Carlton Moore, city commissioner, and there was that same line that you'd cross over. Dixie actually was one of them too. And you can work your way from Miami all the way up to Palm Beach County. So what Joe was describing is a history that's still there today. But another thing happened. He didn't really touch on it. You all know I-95 ran right through it too, because then they doubled down on top of where people are, and then they looked for the least valuable land to put the highways through. Well, they ran that right through, those communities too. So that just separated it even more. So that's the history. He did a good job. But Serica, you touched on it. What he also did the second half is he really honed in on, look, if you want to fix this, you can't leave this vacant land just sitting there. We're doing a disservice by just saying, okay, well, it is the way it is, it's blighted, let's go invest somewhere else. So that's when back in the late 60s, they formed community redevelopment agencies. That's one of the reasons they started, and the first one was in Miami Beach, but they really started to address some of the issues associated with these kind of areas. And that's a tool, it's been around for years and years. You all know it now is the CRA in Pompano. There's almost 300 of them in the entire state of Florida. But using that tool to go into these kind of areas that have all this opportunity of vacant land, but to not cause more damage. The last thing you want to do is go in and say, great, vacant land, let's just come in and build. What's the community want? What should be there? What's the right thing for the community for their economic growth? And what you guys have been doing, I think, for the first time in a real meaningful way in this city, I think you've been starting to have that dialogue, and I think it's making a difference. I really am impressed with the amount of dialogue that really for the first time in a long time, you're talking about this area, what happened to it, but where do we want to go? And that's important. I mean, you've done that a lot. One with the podcast, but two because you've been out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the conversation has been being had from let's tell you what has happened, right? It's about the past. It's about what's happened. And we get caught up in that because when you bring up our past, Black folks, you bring up our past, we gonna get real emotional. We gonna start, and people are good at that, especially politicians. Politicians are really good at reminding us of our pain and hurt, and with that, we stay there. And what happens when we do that, my opinion is, we lose time to prepare ourselves and our children for the future.
Right.
Because it's coming. It's here regardless,
Right.
and we can't do nothing about the past. Like all of these things that, we can name them because we've either learned about them, experienced them. We ain't got to talk about them, right?
Right.
But we're having the conversations now because, we're the parents and grandparents now, and the aunties,
Yeah.
right? So we gotta have a conversation now because it's not, our moms telling us what to do or no. Now we gotta make the decisions
Right.
because we the ones with the kids.
Right.
Yeah. So listen, y'all. This is a conversation.
Hold on.
We
Sarah, can your page up?
yeah. My on Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She said it's up, y'all.
It's on Facebook and YouTube. So what I will say, this conversation is long overdue, and
Glad to be a part of it.
it's really necessary. And I asked LaSure to come on, and I want you both. I want to start with you because I want to talk about who you are in this community. You're a Mohorn. Everybody knows Mohorns, right? Everybody knows Mohorns. This is a Hanadon, right? So in your family, the legacy, you're a legacy family here in Pompano, and I wanted to talk with you and then hear from you about the community.
Okay, well, I'm LaShar Mohorn. Yes, we do. I do have a very, very big family in Pompano. When you invited me to come, what first came to my mind was something that my grandfather told me when he was living. And this was like, I want to say probably over 20 years, probably. Because we was raised up not only in Golden Acres, but we was also raised up in the community that's called Friendly Park. You know what Croft at?
Yeah.
Right behind Croft, that was our.
I was trying to ask my mom what that neighborhood was called because I remember that neighborhood and it was like, remember the Puerto Rican project? And I was
The
like,
Puerto
no,
Rican,
the
y'all know
Puerto
it's a
Rican
project, yeah.
And I was like, no, it was called something else, and that's
Friendly
what
Park.
it was.
Friendly Park. And my granddaddy walked me outside because I had two grandparents on the same street. That's how my mom and my dad met. So my dad family was on one side of the street, which was I think it was 1520 Northwest 10th Street, and then my mom parents was on the other side of the street. I don't remember the address, but I know it was 9th Street.
Okay.
I think it was 15 something 9th Street, and before that road that goes over
Andrews.
I vaguely could remember my granddad taking me outside. He said, "You see that right there? It wasn't a road right there." He just pointed because it was like it was just a flat surface where you go to Markham.
Yeah.
It was flat right there.
Right.
He said when I leave here, he said while y'all sleeping, they're cooking. They cooking.
Yeah.
So stay woke.
Yeah.
He said because before you know it, they're gonna tear everything down and they're gonna build a highway over here. He said this place is gonna be long gone. Educate yourself now.
Right.
Me not listening. Life happens, life goes on. And as I seen it started, I was like, wow.
Right.
My grandfather told me that.
Right.
And
they saw it because when they think about their childhood, think about your grandparents' childhood in Pompano, it was bean fields. Well, a lot of stuff it was bean fields. So they saw even the change in their childhood to them being an adult.
Right.
And that's development. In 50-year increments, you see that change if you stay alive.
Yeah.
So they saw it. You're talking about, and we still have dirt roads in the Northwest.
Yes.
Over there by Markham.
Markham,
There's
that's
still
what
dirt
family home
roads.
of
It's
mine.
like 3 houses that are still back there, and I say, they still holding on.
Yeah, they're still there. But then the conversation becomes, because that's our grandparents. That's what they remember. The conversation then becomes with them is emotional because that's what they remember. That's what they hold on to. But my conversation now, and it isn't to, but the world is, but the world is changing.
It's changing.
And it keeps turning.
And our children have to live in it. And it's not going to stay this way, no matter what. And I think those where the conversations are needed. generationally because our grandparents and parents, they remember certain things. We do too. It's just the 2 o'clock stove just got tore down, right? So
Right.
everybody know I don't went there for a sandwich or two. I remember I done had a sandwich.
I
done had a sandwich.
I can't hold you.
So, but when I
then
think
across
about it,
the
do
street-
I want my kids to see that?
Right.
And it's no. I'm okay with that being going.
Right.
What
That was
y'all
my
gonna put? It
childhood.
don't even matter if it just become an extension of the park. It don't matter. It's just that store
Let me tell you
wasn't something
not
that
to even cut you
necessary
off,
for them.
But riding past there, right? Me and Kayla rode past there this morning, and you want to know what she said?
What?
I can't even hold you. It looks good like that. I can't wait for them to tear the gate down because now you can see the park. Like, I
Right.
like the way it looked.
Right.
And like that's my child.
And how old look at?
She'll be 22 December.
See?
So for her to see that, and that's what I wanted her to see more. And now guess what? She has a son.
Right.
So he doesn't have that vision. What
He
she
won't
had,
even
he
see-
won't even see
he
that.
won't even know it.
And even with this redevelopment project, guess what? He gets to see something totally different.
Imagine how Christmas is going to look at that park this year.
Listen, with the light up MLK,
Yes,
when
yes.
we're doing things, and you know, it's a sensitive subject for our elders. For us, it's a conversation that's necessary. And I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive, but we're the ones now that have to make the decisions because it's our children and grandchildren that are going to inherit these decisions.
right.
They are, you know, we're inheriting the decisions they already made. Right. And lived. They've made it and lived it. So now the decisions that are being made are going to affect our children, and they're going to see it and feel it more. They're going to see the fullness of
Right.
it. You know, if God keep us here long enough, we're hoping to see it, but they'll experience it. They'll be able to go to school in it. They'll be able to walk in the streets in it. And don't get me wrong, we know the implications from the economic side. It's going to take us having money, and those are the conversations that we really got to have. So listen.
I like you keep cutting your eye off me. You know that's a real thing. It's been real sensitive for me.
What?
You know, cause I've been wanting every opportunity that was presented to us on the 29th.
The 29th.
I have been wanting every opportunity that was presented.
You know about you what? Do you know about what happened on the 29th?
I can't say I do.
Okay, so here, look.
So I'm a little emotional about it.
What you emotional about?
Because as we say, you know, with the redevelopment and things are changing, we know that we're going to have some money. You're going to have some income. You're going to have the stability. You're going to have to know about finance. You're going to have to know how to budget. You're going to have to know it because right now, market rate rent is like $2,500. And
That's in an okay area.
that's in
Not
an
even
okay area because even the ones that they've redone rent $2,000, and the average job, let's be realistic, like no, it's not enough. So to have an opportunity put right in front of you to give you the resources to scale your income and to learn more, and the opportunity that you would have to also give to your child and to teach to your child to keep it going, and showing them a different side with generational wealth, showing them about real estate, you know, showing them about banking, you know, all of that to be sitting directly in front of you as an opportunity for my child, my daughter, and my grandson. Because what happened is how my grandson gets affected because it's something my daughter learns. And now that she has more education, more knowledge, and she's exposed to a lot of different things, guess what she's able to do? Show it to him. So he gets to see a different lifestyle, and to be sitting there knowing that the opportunity was there. What? I cried for like 2 hours, literally.
Yeah, I heard. I'm sitting here like, Shakay, what are you crying for?
Because it hit different.
Yeah.
So the 29th?
Okay, so
Oh.
let's the 29th. Okay, so what happened on the 29th? Step, it's a list. I need you to pull up the list. So on the 29th of October was a joint special CRA and City Commission meeting. All right, and it was to go over the MDA amendments from District 4, and it affect 5 too, District 4 and 5, and the financing, public financing, the bonds that would be needed to fund the downtown project. And the MDA amendments are what was negotiated by Commissioner Perkins to give to make it to where this is a direct benefit to the community. So we're gonna put that list up, all right? So there's a couple of the things that came up. $6.5 million contributed over 10 years. And what that was meant to do was to give the community a pot of money that they could go to fund any type of training, scholarships, things, different nonprofits or whatever, but it would be something controlled by the district commissioner and a board that, based on the MDA agreement, if you go and read the MDA agreement, none of the other commissioners would have had an opportunity to appoint someone to that board. Only District 4 commissioner would have had a say-so on who was on the board, and the master developer, because the money would be coming through him. And then it's another list, but I don't think I put it up in there, and I need to. You got the other list? Can you send that to Steph? But it was housing, which is their affordable housing, where there was going to be $1 million over the time that will go towards rental assistance and down payment assistance. There was a land set aside for to see about a college. These are things that the commissioner negotiated with the city and developer to have a community benefit.
So you're saying that now the board is not, it's not subject to just one person, and I believe it was a developer. So now it's Wyatt, like.
Oh no, it's nothing.
No.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay, you
so, but I was just telling you what's on the list. It was a list of about 15 things that the commissioner asked for, and part of that, it was connected to the public financing, because the public financing was a mechanism to pay for it, and it would be a savings to the city.
Okay.
And can you explain that more about the public financing when we get through this? But I just want to let you know that she had to vote yes on everything, because the MDA agreement was contingent on her voting yes on the public financing and the infrastructure bonds. She voted yes on the MDA agreements and no on the financing, which voids the MDA agreement.
So now she voted yes for the finance, which bring.
No, that's done.
It's over.
It's done. So
She said no.
that's done.
So that list, she said no.
Okay.
Shakay said she said no.
What did she say?
The vote was no.
It was no. She voted yes on the MDA amendments, but the MDA amendments were contingent on her voting yes on everything else. They're tied together. She couldn't get the MDA benefits, this amendment, without the savings to the city, because it's now back to private financing, which now there's no community benefits.
Okay, so I politics is difficult for me, but I want to do a spade a spade. Okay, saying no to the development, what was the reason to say, not saying to go back to it, but I'm just saying, what was the reason to say no? Like, what was her I mean, I'm sure there had to be a reason.
We got a video. We got, because I don't like to put words in people's mouth. We have videos. It's a video that say, well,
That was the well.
well,
That was the well.
and we go, because whelp is like,
Let's call it a spade a spade.
Well, right. So we're
call
gonna
it
play the
Queen of Hearts,
video
right?
because with you, the fact that you didn't even know, and we're sitting here trying to explain it to you right now is what we are faced with in the community because people don't know what has happened and it affects you significantly. It affects you
Even with you not wanting to be a part of politics.
Politics a part of you.
Yeah.
It's part of you. Like
Good point.
Step, roll the clip.
Project. I've always felt that this project was about people making money, and this project has a lot of history, and I've never been really excited about the project at all. And I guess because I was very concerned about what the Northwest would get out of this project. And coming in the back end of this project was not a good thing. I do feel there's a lot of broken trust with this project. Although it's in District 4, we've had several roundtable meetings, which I felt was not effective, and that's not personal, Commissioner Smith. The attendance was very low on several of them. And also, I feel, which is not personal, Commissioner Smith, is that we've been, well, RMA has been in our city for 16 years. And it's sad to see the condition of the Northwest. And they've had plenty of time to do a lot more, I would say, in the Northwest. And that has not been done, but I would like to, in the future, look into amending their scope of work for this Northwest project. When staff asked to meet with me based on some of the things that was needed in the Northwest, of course, I gathered a few residents and we met, of course, with the master developer almost a year and a half maybe. And of course, I said to so many of you that we didn't get anywhere. We didn't get any answers. We didn't get anything. It was just, we were meeting. So, but we did list a few things that we wanted to see in the Northwest. And to this day, I never had the opportunity to present that to the community because RMA hired these people that took these list of things and presented it for me. And I still to this day haven't presented it. So it was so much done, Commissioner Smith, that's not personal but disrespectful on all levels. So when I met with staff, and staff said, well, we can give you $500,000, the Northwest, and well, we can do better than that. We'll give you $6.5 million for the Northwest. But, watch the but. You can't have any of that if you don't give us public financing. Okay? So that was the stipulation. So if I wanted to vote for the $6.5 million, right underneath it is public financing. So how do you go with one without the other? So it was the way that a lot of this was, I guess you can say, it just has a lot of history. This project has a lot of history, and I just feel with this project that we have a lot of people waiting with their hands out to make money. And in my opinion, this project is really about City Hall and the garage. That's what it's really about. I can say that I agree with the commissioner here when she said we probably do need to have a workshop. Some of the things that we have listed here, we could possibly do a workshop on them and discuss it in more details. And the reason I didn't have the workshop on it, because I didn't want to deal with all the conflict. That's really it. Because really, there should have been a workshop. But it's just so much conflict over there. And that's not personal, Commissioner Smith. It's just so many levels of broken trust with this project for me. It would be a great idea if we had a nonprofit in the Northwest and we can put money into this trust. That was a no-no. Now that I'm at the table, the developer now is going to open that non-trust all of a sudden. So I hope everybody get all of the money they promised in this project. And I hope that it helps you along to be a little bit more wealthier. I did not vote for the MDA, which is the Master Developer's Contract, because there were some things in the contract that I didn't agree with. I think myself and the Vice Mayor were the only two, I think, at that time that voted against it. And I had never in my life, still to this day, have never seen a contract like that. So it would be a contract I would probably write for a best friend or my mom, because it was a really good contract. So I don't mind having a meeting or a workshop to discuss some of the things in the on this about this project. I don't mind having a meeting about that. But yes, we should have had a workshop, but I just didn't want to deal with the confusion. It's just been so much with this project until it's just up and down and trying to just fight for a little bit for the Northwest. And that's not personal, Commissioner Smith. Thank you.
Very good. Further.
Okay, so listen. I played the whole thing because I don't like to put words in people's mouth. I wanted you to use what was her reason. These were her reasons. Now, I'm gonna just go through a couple things, but the reason you're here is because your name, your company's name keeps coming up. RMA. Have you heard about RMA?
Yep.
You heard about RMA? Everybody hear about RMA in the community. Even before I knew who RMA was or who Kim Brees-Meister was, I was hearing her name.
I went to go ahead.
I was hearing her name. Let me tell you. So what did you hear about RMA?
If it come clear to mind, it was always about a push out that they're putting in our community to push us out. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to bring everybody in from, I think they said New York. New Yorkers going to come in and move in and all of these things. So that's what I get out of it. When I hear RMA, I hear push out.
And you hear it. Where was the first time you hear it because that's what you was told, or you hear it because that's what you know?
No, I heard it because that's what I was told.
Okay. What was the first time you heard about RMA?
Well, honestly,
Kim?
the first time I heard about RMA was on the 29th. I'm gonna be truthfully when I really heard about it. And on the 29th, the 29th, when I got in my bed, I went to figure out who MRA was.
RMA.
RMA was
CRA.
No, I got a CRA, but and I figured out who Kim was and what Kim do and what Kim been doing and when Kim started it and what has Kim done with it and what has it done to the communities that Kim had done it to. And what really got me is on my way home, I ride down downtown Delray. And when I seen that Kim was a part of downtown Delray
And Chris.
and Chris. Yeah, because guess what? With Kim and Chris, I've learned about Chris as well. And I love downtown Delray. So that's what really got me to digging into more of RMA, Kim, and Chris Brown.
And the reason I asked you to that, because y'all know I'm always involved in, that's one of the, that and poetry. Y'all know y'all gonna catch me, politics and poetry, right? And I learned about Kim same way y'all did. RMA gonna push us out. They taking all our land. They RMA. They don't listen to the community. RMA. Kim. But when I heard Kim, you couldn't tell me Kim wasn't finna come in an Amazon woman like you couldn't tell me she have a sword. You couldn't tell me this wasn't Griselda Blanco coming up in here. You couldn't tell me that. And then when I see Kim, I say, "That's Kim." What? Wait a minute now. Okay, so and that has been, and it continues to be the message of who RMA is, who you are in the Northwest, and then it's echoed in other districts that the Northwest doesn't want RMA, the Northwest doesn't like Kim, and y'all don't even know who. Y'all are Northwest, and that's why I'm like, well, okay, so let's get to know who Kim is. Who is RMA? What do you guys do? And why you keep coming up in our community? What's going on?
Wow, that's an opening. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Where do we start with that? Let's go back to why you keep hearing RMA and Kim and Chris. And you just said about, I love Delray. And Chris Brown, back in 1999, was the CRA director, and he laid the foundation. There was nothing there. He laid that foundation, and he got what were the steps to bring economic prosperity to that city started, and the next 25 years, it grew. And today, we look at it, but that took 25 years. And now we go, my God, look how successful. And it is. Delray is probably one of the most successful examples of good CRA redevelopment. Mm-hmm. So Chris gets to own probably, the best of them all. Kim's background is also, I won't get into before I came back to the States, but got exposed living abroad by some of the most talented consultants in urban revitalization in a foreign country where there was 30 different cultures and 20 different nationalities and different languages and black and white and everybody living together trying to revitalize an area where buildings were 300-400 years old. And in came these consultants, and I got exposed to the best of the best. 40 years plus each of redevelopment experience helping cities do this. But then we get to Pompano. So
it's always Pompano.
Oh, what a city.
I mean, we've worked in a lot of cities, a lot.
Atlantic and Delray didn't do y'all like Atlantic on 36.
No.
So
we get to Pompano in 2009 because back then Pompano was struggling, and a lot of cities were. A lot of times they can't figure out how to get it going, and it is not easy. It's a complex set of things you have to do and you have to consider. One of which is the people and what the community is looking for and where you want to go. But at the end of the day, cities sometimes struggle getting their redevelopment started. So Pompano, back in 2009. They decided they had gone through a series of not so successful CRA directors. Let's put it out and hire a firm. So Chris was in the state of Florida doing redevelopment. I was. And I thought, we really should do this because cities need expertise to do this. And as a firm, we can do better in many cities than if we just keep working in one at a time. Let's form a company together. And we did. And because of our experience, and we were two of the oldest, most experienced folks in the state, we bid on the Pompano job. So we win because we came from a redevelopment background, and there were engineers and architects who said, pick me, I can redevelop your city. And it's like, but they're engineers and architects, then they're not redevelopment folks. So they hired RMA. And one of the first things that happened was, we do assessment, look at what's around, look at your plans, what did the community want? And by the way, in 2009, this downtown was already in the process. There were folks that long since had been talking about this downtown. It isn't that we came in and said, hey, you must build a downtown. A lot of, commitments. And you hear Tommy DiGiorgio talk all the time when he stands up at meetings about how him and Pat Larkins met and talked about it, and he promised Pat that, yep, we are going to do this, and this community is going to get economic opportunity as well. So this thought of having a downtown is a long originated project from the community, which is a good one. We wholeheartedly think it's the right thing to do. But then it was implementing it. And there were folks that all of a sudden they were like, wait a minute, you're going to disrupt what's happening here. And we don't necessarily want that to happen. So not too long afterwards, Kim and Chris started to get viewed as, wait a minute. Maybe we're not going to be able to continue to function the way we used to or do the things we do. And
So you ran into the gatekeepers.
Oh, is that what they're called?
You ran into the toll booths and the gatekeepers.
That toll booth went boom.
Oh, this gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
Toll booths and gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we told the community there's an advisory board, and then it was a very good commission. The city commission was very positive. They really wanted to see stuff happen. And we said, look, we can tell you the steps how to do it. And we can tell you how to bring in the financing. We can tell you the economics of it. We can tell you how to bring in the private investment and how to get jobs for the community and how the community can participate. But the community's got to be there. They got to participate. And then we just kept hitting that wall in the Northwest. And that wall has been there in different ways for many, many, many years. And that's why when we first sat down tonight, one of the first things I said is this is the first time that I think there's a different messengers, spotlight on what's been happening, that it's like, wait a minute, we do want to do this.
Right.
Okay, we know how to do it. It's easy to get there. You've got everything sitting right at your feet. You've got a master developer saying, I signed an MDA, that's the master development agreement. I'm here, I'm committed, I'm ready to come and do this. And all that Joe Minicozy growth and opportunity is right here at your doorstep. But your community has to want to do it, has to understand that it's what the benefits are for them, and there has to be the political will to go there. And that night of the 29th, there was not the political will to use the public financing to build this downtown. And the last thing I'll end with is, just for clarification, the $6.5 million, the way that Commissioner Perkins said it is almost as if it was a threat. The only way you're going to get it is if you do public financing. It's not a threat. It's simple math. It is the cost of money. So if a city issues debt, cities issue debt all the time. They need to issue debt. If you don't issue debt, economically, you're not investing in your city. If a city issues debt, they get it cheaper than if the private guys issue the debt. And we've been telling the public, do not have the private guys issue the debt. We can do it cheaper. Let the city issue the debt. It's cheaper. So that it's not a threat. It's that if you don't issue debt that's public, that's cheaper, you don't have the money left over for the $6.5 million. It's not a threat. It's a math thing. So they voted no on the public financing. So we can still build the downtown. We can keep going and build City Hall and try to get this, chug it along and get it to go. And it'll get built. But the problem will be that very, very unfortunate choice of not voting for public money, it did cost you the $6.5 million of benefits that were direct. They were direct benefits. But it really cost a lot more than that. Because I think it costs a problem of trust and perception, and that trust is squarely aimed at us, and I'm sorry, don't put that on us. That we don't vote. We're business people that come in and tell you, here's how you can build your downtown. Here's how you can build economic prosperity. You've been working on how to reach out to the community and get financial literacy and different things happening and making more money so everybody can participate. We can bring that to the table, but at the end of the day, elected officials take responsibility and vote or don't. But don't try to deflect and turn it on your consultant because it's a soundbite to scare people.
Now, I want to pull this up. Steph, I wanted to go to contract, RMA, grab that video, because RMA is always coming up when it comes to the downtown. I hear it all the time. I've heard it throughout the city, and the older generation, they know you. My generation and younger, they don't know you. And it's important for you, and I say this to the city and everybody, you guys got to come from behind the gate, because you are being gatekept. You are being kept away from the community, so that the message only comes from them. When the message only comes from one source or two sources, everything I tell you guys, I tell you all the time, listen, go look for it yourself. I pull it up. I let you go look for it yourself. Don't follow me, because you're going to end up side the road drinking. Do not follow me, okay? Yes. So don't do that. Go research it for yourself, because there are people with motives who will tell you stuff just to get you to do what they want you to do, okay? So the community, our generation, y'all get to know who RMA is and what they do themselves. Now, you guys were part of building the beach, right?
Yep.
Pompano Beach.
Yep.
So let's look at our beach. What our beach look like?
Baby, I go to the beach every day.
Pompano
Our
Beach
beach
from
look-
when I grew up to what it is
it's
right
phenomenal.
now.
It's phenomenal. And then they just breaking down the snack stand that they had, the snack station they had out there.
Yeah.
They just tearing that down to rebuild a new snack station. And what her name? Allison? Is it Allison?
Audrey. That's Audrey's district.
It's Audrey. I asked the question because I stay on that Pompano to go or whatever it is, and she showed me exactly how it's gonna look
In her community.
in her community.
Oh, so she getting stuff built in
Oh,
her
yes.
community. Oh, that's
yes.
a great thing. Let's get
Yeah.
Oh,
in her
yes.
community.
in her community.
Yes.
She get everything she
Yeah.
want. It's the beach.
Yeah.
It's District 1. Remember, Joe Minicozy showed us how the beach got all this going on up here. and they
It's
doing all
gonna
that.
be it's gonna be beautiful.
It is, and they put a lot into it. But your company
Did
did that.
Yeah.
So,
With everybody.
well, not just you. I mean, let me not say that. You working along with the city and the staff and the CRA, you guys did that, okay?
But we can't get it.
But they want you to leave now when it's time for you to do that magic over here.
So it appears.
I'm just saying, it's just like, hey, they want to give us the discounted person. They want us to take the
Scraps.
Allison say the scraps. The scraps.
Instead of the premium
But she
plus.
actually said you guys did a great job out on, you may have done a great job. Well, she did. She said you guys did a great job on the east, but not the northwest. And I want to know, how does she know they haven't done to the northwest? You haven't done a good job in the northwest, because that would mean she would have to be in tune to the northwest to know that. So who is she listening to in the northwest? Because the silent majority she thinks she's listening to isn't the majority of the community.
It's not.
And I don't think she hears that. I don't think she hears that the people she's listening to from the northwest are not the silent majority.
But can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
When we're talking about downtown, we're talking about not Dixie, but before Dixie, that cut off right there, Bojo's and on, right? That's what we're talking.
MLK.
MLK. So it's
MLK.
from the overpass, 95 overpass,
So down,
Atlantic.
right?
Still cut over there where City Hall
Right.
is. You know where the City Hall and
So come the other way.
Because that's where I want to go.
So go from 95.
No. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I want to go this way,
which way?
on the other side of the tracks, where we have nothing.
Where?
We have the plaza that Kodak, where I was, that Kodak
Right.
brought that he wants to tear down and rebuild or whatever. Then we have the plaza, which is full of our people.
Oh, you talking about Croft, where McMillan's and
Yeah.
Croft? Okay.
So what we're doing, so he have to do his own thing right there, and then everything else over there by.
Get ready for lawsuit, because let me tell you. So the CRA district is 3,083 acres. Our Northwest CRA district is 3,083 acres. The second largest CRA district in the state. St. Pete got the largest, right? That's the CRA district, which means all the incentives and all the things that's being used to build the downtown project, it could be used to be built all throughout that district. However, we had a lawsuit. Did you know about that?
think I
Did you know about the
kinda
lawsuit?
stumbled over something about that, but
Oh.
it's still in. Is that the one?
No, it's over, baby.
Oh, okay.
It's over. That one over. That's when I actually came.
Okay.
I actually came when I came back from school and moved. I came back here when the lawsuit conversation was going on, and at that time, because I can remember y'all. May not know it by now, but I used to argue with Kim, like not like even know her, but when she said, "Hey, Kim, we don't want you. We don't want you here, Kim," because that's
What you was told.
That's what I was told, right? We don't want you here because I'm supposed to stick with us, right? I come back home, I don't know what's going on. I go talk to the black people, and they told me we don't want Kim here. We want RMA gone. We want to take this $10 million settlement for the and not extend the CRA. It was due to sunset in 2019. In the lawsuit, she was fighting for it for us to keep the CRA that would have gave us over $200 million over a 30-year period. We settled. Guess for how much? Y'all just guess. We could have got 200 plus million over a 30-year period. We took a settlement.
For maybe what? 500,000 maybe?
You went real low.
Because they always selling it. I'm just saying.
You're right. They always selling it. It was 23 million total, but 10 million cash that could go to residential, clean up residential slum and blight, and then another 13 million to slated projects.
Did that ever happen? Because I've only remember going over to the Pat Lockett Center, sitting in a conversation about windows and doors and.
Well, so the 10 million was dispersed. Now there's Habitat for Humanity that got part of the money, and Minority Builders got part of the money, and then this group L&D Consortium. And I want y'all to look at who's involved in L&D Consortium, because they haven't done what they were supposed to do with it. So, yeah, the money's there, is going out. And I actually had County Commissioner Lamar Fisher on a few weeks ago, and he spoke about the projects not being done, and that how the city is going to, the county is gonna, start pressuring if they don't get these projects done, they're gonna take this money back. But that's and that was something that I wanted to bring up too, because L&D Consortium is the developer that got the money from the county to do the redevelopment for the homes and stuff. But when we were at that meeting, Shakay, the commission meeting about the bridge, you remember the meeting about the bridge and
the $14 million.
The
Don't make you start calling this stuff. You don't be putting the right suffix on this stuff. $14 million.
The $14 million bridge for District 3, the $14 million Six Terrace Bridge, and the
that only cost $7 million.
Yeah, but at that time, the guy that came up who was talking, he said that he was part of the bid. He was that's L&D Consortium. The one that County Commissioner Lamar Fisher said, hey, they need to start finishing this stuff up over here in this community, or we're gonna have to take it back. But they bid on that project, which he's not the main, he's a subcontractor with them, but he went up and spoke. So I'm looking at, this is your representation, who you saying you want to build this bridge, and they ain't even did what they supposed to do in our community for people who need windows and roofs and stuff. But you were paying $14 million though. I'm just throwing that out there for y'all people. You take it how you want. But let's get back to the downtown project.
Listen, I love commissioner meetings. I get off work and I go straight there. I go straight to the meetings and I sit in the bed.
It's better than Love and Hip Hop. It's better than Love and Hip Hop. We literally sit back there and we like,
That meeting we had a time.
listen, we had a time because I was like, why she do this? She did. And she did it. She did it. It's predictable because, and in the fact that we sit in there, we see them the way they don't see themselves. And then we have two commissioners that are very active on social media. So, they're encouraged. And I'm on social media, so I know that your audience wants you to keep giving them certain things. And you can look at your analytics and you can see what your audience enjoy. Right? So it's indicative of your energy. If you're always negative and your social media is negative, then that's all we're gonna get from you. So I don't look for too much, and the positive stuff don't even look real. It don't even look real. Anyways, let's play that video. Contract. RMA, roll the clip.
That word will be corrected. So, a resolution of the Pompano Beach Community Redevelopment
Excuse me,
Agency.
Before she gets started, excuse me, I wanted to.
I know. We're going to try it again. In the meantime, so your contract, things keep coming up about RMA. And RMA, you guys, RMA, I've read this book. I think you guys should read this book. I have it. I think you guys should read the book.
Wait, this mine?
Yeah, it's.
Uh-oh.
I think you guys should read it, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've read the book, and let me tell you guys how I started. Because I'm telling you, me and Kim, they told me Kim was the Wicked Witch of the West. That's who they told me Kim was.
When I first met Kim, I didn't get the Wicked Witch of the West.
Well, you went in open. I went in, was already told who she was, you know, and what she was doing. I was told. So, I'm probably the most pro-black person. I'm always going to stick with us, right? Mm-hmm. But at some point, I got to make sure we doing right. It's righteous and we holding each other accountable, right?
Because sometimes you can be our own critics, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, all for years, back in 2022, I ended up, y'all know, pandemic came, shift everything, right? Mm-hmm. I lost everything. 2022, I ended up moving on 7th Avenue in the little house. Y'all know them little houses right there on 7th Avenue, right? That's where I was at, right? Baby, that was a time, right? But when I moved over there, I called Miss McGirt, and I say, Miss McGirt, I'm just letting you know, me and my family, my kids, we over here on 7th Avenue. And Miss McGirt say, what you doing over there? Why you over there? You got that baby over there? She was like, call Commissioner Perkins and tell, you over there. So I was like, okay. I called Commissioner Perkins. Say, I'm over here, I was having problems. Listen, slumlord, baby. Yeah. I'm talking about you can't even turn the water fountain on without getting shocked. Like it was flooding. It was just so much going on. So I called Commissioner Perkins and told her, and she told me, call Kim Briesmeister.
I didn't know that.
She gave me, I say, well, I ain't got her phone number. I'll send it to you. Mm-mm. She sent me her number and I called Kim. November 2022, right? So I called Kim. Kim sounded surprised, like all I don't like. She was like, it's been cussing me out, going on for coming up to these kids, and not what you calling me for. What you calling me for? Like, that's what I would have been like. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's what I've been like. But I called you.
Okay.
And when I called you, I told you what was going on. And I told you the commissioner gave me my number. And you said, okay, let's talk. And we started talking.
Right.
And we're here. So I wanted to bring that up because here it keep coming up actually when the commissioner brought up that, you know, RMA brought in these 4 ladies. But she's speaking about Lotus Mindset.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure people know where that came from. But for years, we didn't know. We was on opposite ends of things. But think about it. When
You told me to
I'm
call Kim.
huh?
You told me to call Kim.
You told me to call Kim.
You sent me up there.
I called you for help.
you to help me.
And you told me to call Kim. You know Kim can help, but you don't want Kim to help. Ain't that something? Why?
You thought Kim wasn't gonna help me.
You thought? Oh, you think that's what it was?
You thought because you want RMA out because you feel like they ain't doing whatever your reason is because it's confusion. Whatever it is, you thought Kim wasn't gonna help me. It's like you was showing me. I'm gonna show you something. Let me show you this.
Well, I ain't never think of that. Step. Roll the clip.
That word will be corrected. So, a resolution of the Pompano Beach Community Redevelopment
Excuse me,
Agency.
Before she gets started, excuse me, I wanted to, bring to your attention that we've had the services of RMA in the city of Pompano for about 16 years. They've been here since 2009. And being that this is a new project, I think it's time for us to move in a different direction as far as RMA is concerned. So I would like to make a motion that we remove and replace RMA as the consultant for all Northwest CRA projects, which include the new downtown.
I'm sorry, Ms. McKenna, is it?
Is that a motion to terminate the contract, or is it a motion to change the scope?
Terminate the contract.
The contract expires in August of '27. If you terminate, you have to give RMA 60 days notice,
Right.
and then after the 60 days notice, they receive a transition fee for 180 days. That is their monthly fee. So the effect of terminating today would be to basically pay them their monthly fee for 8 months.
Thank you. So do I need to reiterate the motion, repeat it?
No.
No? Okay.
I got it.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to terminate the contract with RMA for the Northwest CRA. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, moved and seconded. Okay, discussion on the motion. Anybody?
Okay, but so the motion failed. Let me just say that the motion failed. 3-3 as our commission votes.
I hate I didn't get that part because I like when Rex be like,
Call
no,
the roll.
Call the roll. And when it's his turn, he's like, no. Okay, that's that. 'Cause why y'all wasting my time?
Well, I think it was, again, Commissioner Perkins is a politician. You know, we know Beverly Perkins, but she's a politician, right? 40 years at being in the political, so seasoned, you know, and I dare not try to tell her what to do and how to be a politician. However, you know, I study politics. I'm actually, you know, that's what I went. I ain't finished, but I went to school for political science. So, you know, thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Let me tell you, she knew, Commissioner Perkins knew, she's the 4th vote, which means in order for anything to get done, you knew they were relying on you to be the 4th vote to move forward. Here comes this. And if y'all want me to vote, here come me asserting my power again. Now, if y'all want me to vote for this, fire RMA. It failed.
Who coming?
Yeah, that's the question. Because she said replace. I did see
Who
that.
coming?
You
And
know,
what's the plan?
to terminate and replace. So who does she have in mind to replace? And do they have your experience? Because I'm gonna want to see the next person they bring in here. Kim, listen. If they let you go, I'm gonna want to see a book. I want to see I want to see some cities. You know, some reinventing stuff. I'm gonna want to see that.
Because this stuff is already have to be. If trying to use.
But
all
why?
nice words.
But they've gone so far. So I guess my question is, why terminate or why replace when you already have? Hold on, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
You already have evidence right here what they can do.
I like you.
I'm just saying.
I liked you before this though.
Why?
You
The
got-
evidence is here. You can actually ride over to the city of Delray, right? And see exactly what they've done to the place.
You can.
So
I think we should do that. Let's get a bus of us, a group of us.
Oh, I was gonna say you want to go tonight.
We can.
We
But
can.
I want to get a group of people from the Northwest and let's go to Delray.
Can I ask you something? In that book that I just gave you, also keep going north because West Palm Beach is a client. You've got to see what our RMA team did up in West Palm Beach, where they took the old Sunset Lounge, is incredible, where Count Basie and Duke Ellington, just like Allied Building, used to play, refurbished it. It's getting back open again, and it's functioning like you wouldn't believe. Heart and Soul Park right in front of it, right in the middle of a very, very similar Northwest area. And
By
the
Clementes?
Sticks project, where what?
Is it by Clementes?
By Clematis? No,
No,
it's
okay.
further north
Further
in
north, okay.
north of Banyan and on 7th Street. And then the Sticks project, where there's 5 African American businesses that are all opened up in these old little shotgun refurbished houses. That's revitalization that is, we're so proud of that, and what Gina Baker, an RMA employee in West Palm CRA, is doing. It is Delray, but it's Delray and it's West Palm,
Right.
and it's Northwest type areas, and it's downtowns. It's so many opportunities that you could have
Right.
in this city, and it's sitting right there. It's just
Right.
right there. If
Right.
if they would just move it forward.
right.
So I want to ask you something. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, because when I think of family outing, I am not thinking about McNair Park or Mitchell Moore Park. You know, I want to take my grandkids, over to downtown, let them see, walk, talk, have fun, run on the green area, all that. We don't just want to be subject to parks. Because at this time, that's what we're subject to. Because a lot of people, a lot of folks that live in Northwest Section, they don't even know that the beach even exists half of the time.
Right.
Unless someone put it on their Facebook, like, okay, we're gonna try this right here. What is that? Because when I tell you that the city of Pompano have a lot of hidden jewels,
They have a lot of.
They do.
a lot.
They do.
There are a lot.
They do.
So why can't we get to have that fun? That's just my.
No, I mean, but it's valid. It's a valid question, because what we're looking for to see isn't what someone 65 and 70 looking forward to see. And honestly, this downtown, listen, I'm not being insensitive, but we're building for the future, for the next generation, right? So we're gonna get a little bit of it, but they gonna get all of it,
yeah.
right? So that to me, that's why it's important for our voices, younger voices, moms, kids, Team 25, Kayla, them, your grandkids, all of, they need to start speaking about what it is that they want to see, because what this commission hearing, what Vice Mayor Fournier continues to speak about from the Northwest, I don't know who she I know who she talking to, but I know she's not listening to the entire community. And that is a disservice as an elected official, because you don't just represent the people who voted for you. You represent the people who didn't vote for you too. And their voices matter, and especially in the Northwest, because time and time again, I sit at these meetings and I hear all of the things that are happening in other districts and see how the money, I follow the money. I've been following it for a very long time. And I don't know if you guys remember about the GO bond, the GO bond that went out, and all of the money that went into District 4 and 5 were really going to the parks. That's where all that the money, so the new field, the blue field, you know, all that money went to the parks. But then my mind is, where's the investment in technology? Where's the investment in art? Where's the investment in the areas that, you know, of the mind? Because we have very talented, intelligent kids that we're not feeding the things that we need.
Don't play basketball and football.
Everybody
ain't going to the NFL either.
And everybody ain't going to college. Everybody don't want to go to college.
They're not.
So all these ideas, I mean, even that idea, and I saw an article that the lady who came to the meeting and she wrote on her Substack about the commission, and the facts were accurate about
the
colleges. However, her idea of whose idea it was about the college was dead wrong. That was the commissioner's. That was hers. As a matter of fact, there's a video called Transparency. I want you to get that one ready. That list came from the commissioner and her team. Because have you ever been part of a community conversation about what we want in the downtown as far as our benefits, what we want?
I haven't been a part of that conversation.
Have you heard about a meeting for it?
No.
Because it never happened.
That's what frustrated me.
It never happened. Go ahead.
And her spiel, she was like, because I got with a group of people from the community who. And then her response to everything is I. It's not I, it's the community. So a lot of this stuff is personal because you didn't have workshops because you didn't want to deal with the confusion. This wasn't about you. So you neglected, you disserviced again because you failed to have those workshops for this project, for the community to put input in, for you to be more knowledgeable of what's going on. Because, okay, I'm just meeting Beverly Perkins, let me say that. And going to those meetings, the impression that I have of my district commissioner, I don't think she wants to hear exactly how I feel her representation of leadership. And this is me new watching her, and I don't think half of the time when I got questions.
You should
But
get
let
answers.
me ask this. Not ask this. Let me say this. Looking back, when we talk about the commissioners for the Northwest section, right? When we're voting for them, we always asking them what are they going to do. Have anybody ever asked these commissioners before they sit in their chair, what are you not going to do? Because they can be persuaded to do anything. But I want you to tell me what you're not going to do, because when you do it, I'm going to remind you, you told me you was not going to do that.
Well, I think,
and to me, it just seems like every time when it comes to the Northwest section, it's like we always have problems with every commissioner that gets in their seat. Besides the only one I know was Pat Lockins. I'm sorry.
I never met Pat.
It's not biased to anybody that's sitting in that seat, even to my Uncle Ed Phillips. But every time we have somebody sitting in that seat, it's always problem. You know why? Because we're so divided.
Let me tell you this about Ed, and y'all know my history with Ed, right? Y'all, I listen. I never tell people who to vote for, and I'm never going to campaign or tell someone who to vote for, but I will tell you who not to vote for. And that's what I did for a whole year when it came to Ed. I was on my social media, don't vote for Ed Phillips. Don't vote for Ed Phillips. The reason I said that, and I work with him now. He's doing work with the Tiger Trail in the community, and differences aside, he's a servant to his community, okay? The problem with Ed at that time was when Greg Frazier got murdered. Greg Frazier got killed in the district. 3 months prior to that, I was at the commission meeting talking about policing and how we need to get together and make sure that what's happening nationwide with all the police brutalities, killings of young black men and boys, that it don't happen here, because Ed was the only one spoke against it, and he and I went back and forth for it. So I say that because Greg Frazier was murdered, and that's why was killed, and that's why Ed Phillips didn't win. Commissioner Perkins voting no, not one, not two, but 3 times to say no on this, moving this project forward, killed the dreams of so many people. It continuously pushed people back. And I'm making that because one, this was our lives that this commissioner jeopardized by not fighting, and this is our future.
Our future.
That this one is jeopardizing. And at no point is this about your auntie, because it's your cousin, because it's your friend, or you go to church with her, she your church. This is what's right and what's righteous. And I continuously fall into this category with people where it's like, we got to stick together. We don't have to stick together when we wrong, because I'm not sticking with you when you wrong. I don't care. Even my own kids. Listen, I'm not the parent go show up and tell you, hey, my child ain't gonna do that. No, because I know my churn. I know she did it. Yep. That one right there did it.
Okay, tell you how she did it too.
But we continue to do, and then we're pent against each other because we're cousins and we're relatives, and it's not hatred. It's not personal, because your job is to serve. Like, y'all don't know what what commissioners work for the people.
Right.
We don't work for them.
Well, they supposed to.
Right. I think that's good. I think our seats somehow think they take on this like overseer vibe. Like, I'm over all y'all.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, y'all reading the same civics.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think also? I think that when the commissioners get in that seat, I think it'd be these little bugs that's still in the city, that's still inside the city, that get in their ears to make
the
them
gatekeepers.
And I think that's what happens, because it seems to me that even though they talk and they talk, but they don't walk, right? That they talk so much till they rumble, and nothing gets done. They just go round and round. Then before you know it, they go another election. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this. No, baby, tell me what you're not gonna do.
You know, the problem too is like our district commissioner, any district, that's just one vote. One commissioner, one vote. Okay? Your job up there in the city is to be able to negotiate on behalf of the community. It's give and take. You are not going up there and bullying nobody to do nothing, because you still need 4 votes to get anything in your community. And if you don't have the relationships, but you know what they do, and this just isn't Pompano, this is how commissions work. They team up. And come election time, they tell you to vote for this one in this district, this one in this district, this one in this district, so you can keep control and power. And the thing is, I'm all for everybody having representation. What I'm not for is you controlling the representation, because that's not leadership for me. That's not even that's not even what this country's constitution is built on, of what service and leadership is about.
At this point, I don't know what the
we got that transparency video. Let's pull that transparency video up and roll the clip, Step. Was there, for me, I think my question to people in the group, because you're the first person that has said to me, I was in that group.
Yeah.
I've heard names, but you're the first person that has transparently said, I was in that group. Okay? So being in that group, coming up with that list, what type of data, what type of feedback, community input did each individual have to say, hey, this is what we want?
Right.
Or was this just conversations amongst the people in the room? Like, how did that process go?
Now, from what I can recall, it seemed like most of the items were already identified as to what was going to be requested.
Before you got there?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Because this is how I have to process, where we are, because this is a serious matter. This isn't, and it's not gossip. It's not, anything other than trying to understand the severity of what is happening, the decisions that are being made, the decision makers' decisions, and the advisors around them. So I have to understand that. And, and I appreciate you coming and saying this, because if the list was already together when you came there, what was the point of?
And I guess it was really to get the support behind the items that were identified, to get the feedback, conversation. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should we tweak it? Those kind of conversations. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure how those particular items that were on the list came about.
Yeah, I need to know that.
Yeah.
I think the community needs to know, how were these items identified as being a desire or a necessity of the community.
That's a good point.
Because I'm saying. So, Brother Campbell, pastor at 15th Street Church of Christ, I had him on. He actually told me he was part of the group. He's the only one that has publicly said, hey, I was part of the group. But even he said, when I got there, the list was already made. So let's really think about this, and let's talk about this, because this isn't a community desire or list if the community's not participating in it. And I'm saying that because even when he came up and, he came on and he said, hey, this is what I think, and he later on talked about the only thing he said he wasn't good with is that he felt he wants a new Pat Larkin Center. They were talking about keeping and renovating it. He wants a new one. And I'm saying that because why is it such a secret of who this team is that's working with her? You're an elected official, which means everything you do is supposed to be in the sunshine. You got it's transparency. You gotta share, right? Because there's this idea that I keep hearing Miss I'm gonna say Miss, and I'm definitely don't want to say that. Commissioner Fezzik and Vice Mayor Fournier keep talking about this ghost people who are running the city. I know Vice Mayor Fournier and I know Commissioner Fezzik have no idea who really running the Northwest District. They have no idea. And if they do, they are in cahoots with it, because it continues to perpetuate that this is what the community wants. But you guys are hearing from people who are like, the community doesn't even know this stuff. Right, so how do you guys keep saying that the Northwest, and it's like, when you say stuff like that, you got to be transparent. You got to say exactly what it is, because it is public information, right? It's been asked who's sitting in these rooms, who's in these meetings. It's been asked. Right. And I want to make sure that we know that this process, all of it, is public information. This is public information. Ain't nothing you can't go ask for. You can go find out her contract. You can go get my contract. You can go get every contract. Matter of fact, go see what the community benefits is for City Vista, or see what the community benefits for Sonata. Go see what the community benefits for Marquise. Go see what the community benefits when all these affordable housing and development projects come up, because they're attached to community benefits. Where are they? Where do they go? Go look. Go ask those questions. Go pull them up. I do my own research. I don't let anymore, because before, when I came, they told me the Wicked Witch of the West was coming in pushing us out. You know, and ever since then, I just refuse to be led astray.
But she looked like a Cinderella.
Right. So, Kim.
Or the fairy godmother.
I'm not a witch, I swear.
So
Just trying to help.
the workshop conflict that I'm going to go back to that, but there's also a vision. There's a vision, right? Get ready to pull up that Her Vision video. The vision of this community, whose responsibility is it to come up with it for the Northwest?
The community.
So how do we do that?
Well, how do you do it from where you are today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I would hope you would do is a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears has been invested to get to where you are today. And I just brought up before about Pat Larkins and some of the discussions 20 years ago that were had about having a downtown so that you could have those places to go in the community and you could have job opportunities. You have all this foundation that's sitting there right now. That said, developers and investors that are going to come in, everybody is going to come in and want to be profitable. You want it to be profitable, otherwise they go broke and buildings sit vacant.
We want to make money.
You want everybody should make money. That said, what happens in this downtown is going to be participant of the community. That's where I think you could really go. And like we talked about earlier, just think about all of the forward-thinking generations that we really should be building for. And in that book that we wrote, we traveled all over the world and talked to mayors and commissioners all over, not just in the United States. And in Spain, there was this little town that didn't have anything going for it, and all of a sudden, they managed to get the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. How did they get the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao? So we went to Bilbao and said, how'd you do that? And they said, we built for the next generation. You said it, and you were absolutely right before. We should be, the fact that you've got the land assembled and you have a developer at the table and you're ready to go, please don't throw that out. You're there. But what happens in that downtown and the excitement and the future is what you guys can now participate in and say, what could those kids be doing? What should they be involved in? What technology? What AI? What kind of businesses should we be opening here? Are we going to open the regular old business we had 50 years ago? Or are we going to get these 5-year-olds coding and have them come up with different things that could be happening in these businesses? Are we going to build the buildings the same? A little bit. They got to stand up. Are they going to function the same inside? No. That's where you all can participate. And the city, the downtown's for the whole city, but it's in the Northwest. And there's no reason why you can't take that fantastic foundation you've got there today and use it and start to say, okay, Roca, you're the master developer. As we build, let's talk about what's happening in these buildings. That discussion there's all the time in the world for. So it isn't that nobody's getting pushed out. We never pushed anybody out. We're doing the opposite. We're trying to say, come on, let's do this together. But you have to do it as a community. And what you're doing now is exactly the right thing to do it. Have the dialogue, talk about it, have transparent discussions, but think about the next generation, because that really is who we have to build this downtown for.
Absolutely. And that's my fuel. Eric, I think when I look at my 5-year-old, who, by the way, y'all, let me tell you, he's starting to get out of the car before me and come around to my side and open my door and grab my hand to take me out the car. Like, I just want to let y'all know.
Wow.
I just want to let y'all know, like, hey.
So with that being said, because I wanted to get back into doing the networking events as we spoke about, and I want to put together, with us having this conversation, I want to put together my next networking event, which is What's the Tea? And I would like for you to come and speak to the community.
Sure.
So we would definitely switch contacts after this, and I definitely could put together a mixer, because that information is needed. These conversations are needed. So I definitely want to put something together and have you be a guest there and give out some of that information. And
Yeah.
we
Bring some of these.
Yeah,
I would
bring
gladly
these.
do it. And you know what's important? And the target is RMA. You know what? We got broad shoulders. And I know everybody has a special agenda. We get in the middle of politics. I know exactly what's happening with the three of them, and two in particular. It's obvious. That's okay. We're going to keep going and trying to help communities because that's what we do for a living. We're consultants. But we don't do this ourselves. You have a very effective CRA director in Nguyen Tran. He's very good. You got a whole team there, and they are the ones that manage the day-to-day operations of the city. We don't have anything to do with the day-to-day of that
Right.
CRA.
Right.
And Commissioner Fournier said that, well, last 7 years, more would have happened if you weren't here. We don't run the CRA. We only focus on downtown. You know, there's 3,000 acres. We're dealing with 400 of it. But in that 400, yes, I'm there, I'm present, I'm there to do whatever it is to help this community move that downtown forward. But that's city, Suzette Sybil, your assistant city managers, Greg Harrison. You've got some really heavyweight talent trying to move your community forward. And it's RMA is the target, but by no means are we the lead, nor are we alone. It's a team effort there.
Steph, I want you to get ready with her vision, and I'm glad you said that because that's gonna pivot. That's a good pivot point. Roll the clip, Steph.
We riding out tonight.
Yes, we have.
It down and we voted not to do it again, and then you're like, hey, the solution is let's do the public financing. Like, that was so controversial. So I think we need to stay away from things that have been so controversial, because that's not gonna help us right now. I understand your point that it might solve some problems, but in the absence of a workshop where we know where we're headed with the downtown, I don't know how to solve that one. So I mean, Commissioner Perkins, is there anything on the Northwest that's without a workshop and understanding that can get us anywhere? Because I know that amendment that they put in front of us before the meeting that we had where it was adjourned and we didn't vote on anything, I wasn't okay with that. Like, I'm sure that needed a lot of fleshing out still. So, and we've made no progress since then.
Right, exactly. Well, I would love to go back and flush it out and see what we can do to make it happen.
Like, I have a different vision totally, like, than maybe you do even. So,
What vision do you
just
have?
there's certain things like that I think we're like actually skimping on some of this stuff and need to make it like a more robust, like, civic complex if we're going to do this. Like, do it the right way, not fight over scraps, but like get the premium product in. Go for that. And if it costs us a little bit more and we do the public financing, so be it. But we're fighting over like little funds here or this, like, when we need to like have a real vision for what we want for the future.
I agree. A workshop would have been very, very much needed.
Yeah,
It was needed.
it was needed. And so where do we go from here on that one? Because again, we asked for it, we voted for it, and then nothing happened. So
So listen, very important that I played that, right? For a couple reasons.
That's one of my favorite clips.
Because when Vice Mayor Fournier said, I have a different vision from probably you do, and Commissioner Perkins says, what's your vision? Well, what's your vision? That question, what's your vision, from Commissioner Perkins was never asked to the community. What is our vision? Yet,
She also told you if you had to use public financing, go ahead and use public financing.
yeah, but she,
I don't got to
because
vote-
it would
I don't
be
have
her
to vote with it,
vision.
though.
Be-
But I don't have to vote with it. But I'm telling you what I would do. I would use public financing for my city.
and if it costs
If it
more,
costs more, it costs more. She telling you what she would do for her community. Go ahead and do it for yours.
yeah,
I
but-
don't have to agree to that vote with you. But that's basically if it was on my turf.
Yeah, if it was on her turf and her, she would definitely control that differently, and she's telling her that.
Yeah.
But it was also too okay, and that's where I feel that there's between the way Vice Mayor Fournier talks to Commissioner Perkins is as if she's educating her or teaching her, and she doesn't understand. So I gotta hold your hand and walk you through this, and then you still don't get it because I don't want you to. And that to me continues to be the messaging. Even so, then get ready for Audacity video step, because then it's echoed in the way they view people in our community by Commissioner Fezzik, who said that, you know, some people in our community may not even understand financial literacy. Like, and let me tell you about, let me tell you. So, and that right there, the Audacity video, that right there was I've been doing some research on just that thinking. And what made her think that people won't understand it? So in relative to our community, like what made her think that? And then, you know, historically, when I hear somebody white say that, historically, there has been this inferiority that we don't have the brain capacity to understand football. As you know, they wouldn't let for a long time black men couldn't be football players, Step, because they didn't think you couldn't be quarterbacks, right? We couldn't be quarterbacks because they didn't think we had the mental intelligence to be able to be quarterbacks. You know, all this is all rude, that thought, that mindset thought. And then for you, when you said that, it just made me think, like, the audacity for you to sit up there and say that. And then be sitting next to the one black representative we have, and she ain't even say nothing. And that, to me, we're gonna play that video. Step, roll the clip.
Of many of the people in the community who wear different hats, right? But you can't fix everything. And I feel like that's what we're trying to do by throwing all of this together in this. It's a noble concept, and it's one that the community would support, right? Everybody knows that these are things that the community needs. That's what we heard time and again. That's what the community needs. They need these things. However, does it have to be linked to this downtown project? Does it have to be linked to public financing? Or should it be something that the CRA plan should be addressing through TIF funds outside of redevelopment, maybe on its own? And they could have been doing that for the past 30 years, right? So, but we haven't gotten there yet. So I applaud the honorable concept, and I agree that we have to treat the whole individual. But you have to also remember that some of the people who will apply will want those services, and some will not. If you want to hear the frustration in anybody's voice, you could talk to Cassie about how much she wants to help everybody. There's some people who just don't want it. The financial literacy, some people might say all in. I would love to learn. There's some people who are not going to know how to do it and don't want to. They're happy with the way that they're doing things, and they like what they're doing. So these are definitely, like you mentioned, socioeconomic problems. They're community problems, but they're ones that we can help and serve, and churches and local businesses, even our CRA programs, should we adopt them or adopt that as part of the plan to focus on those programs rather than it being attached to a downtown that only is okay or only part of the project if we use public financing. I think it's not right.
So I do want to reiterate again, the whole community benefit trust.
Sorry, I'm not done. Okay. Thank you. And because I only had one more thing, and it's about affordable housing. Mm-hmm. So on here, it's.
So, you know, with her saying those things, and I'm gonna keep saying it because she has shown her prejudice one too many times for me to ignore it. And, you know, I'm the rebel of my family, of the community. You got to pay attention when people show you who they are. Yeah. And I don't need you to, you know, say it another way. It's the undertones. And I'm not okay with a district commissioner who's in this city talking about another district as if we aren't intelligent, as if we aren't ambitious, as if we aren't deserving. all of these things that she spoke about was it was disheartening, but it's almost like you showed me who you are.
So, now
So
you
I
can
ain't
see
mad
why-
at you.
This is why that after that is I left out because that me sitting in that seat and her sitting in front of me, she was talking to me, and it was like the person who was supposed to defend me or who was supposed to take up for me was sitting right there and said nothing.
And Kim, you the one white woman in the room today, so it's like you taking all of this, and we listen. This ain't even for you. Listen,
It's not. But you was there that night. You see how
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the effect that it had on me.
Yes.
And now when you see that,
Yep.
I just want you to see exactly why, or how, like when you see me, you probably couldn't understand like what's wrong. Like she's really crying. But now to see it, and I was there face to face with her, it's like you don't get to say that.
Yeah.
Even if that's the truth, you don't get to say it. And the only reason why they probably wouldn't know or wouldn't understand it because it's not in our community and we had the opportunity to have it. And she said no.
There's no room for disrespect,
No.
though, and that unfortunately there's too much of that, especially on the social media. It's almost like there's no parameters and no barriers and no limits as to what, in particular, Commissioner Fessick will post. I mean,
They
some of the
do the
things that
First
have been
Amendment now.
posted are beyond unacceptable as far as
It's
just the
disgusting.
post. So, can I go back to the downtown for 1 second?
ahead.
Because I think this is an important message, really for the community. You all have been around in different cities, and you have cities that you love, and there's a reason you love them. You talk about Delray, you love going to the shops, and you want to have that there. There's two parts of really what's going to make this downtown work. One is simple real estate market. I mean, for a restaurant to open, people have to go visit it, and they have to be successful. So a lot of it's market driven. The kind of restaurants that open, the kind of shops that open, everything that ends up being drawn to our downtown is going to be based on however many people are going to go to those places and service them. That's important, and that's part of a downtown. But the soul of a downtown, the heart of a downtown, and what really makes it unique, and each one's very different, that's what the community will influence. And if you think about Charleston, South Carolina, and you had a mayor that was there, Charleston Riley, for 40 years. His soul and his connection to the entire parts of the community were drawn in, and that community has a soul to it that's curated by the community. That's what I think is missing here, is that we don't have enough of that kind of dialogue going on about what that personality of that downtown can be. Let's get the buildings going. Let's get the infrastructure in. We have to get it started. But that's a really important thing for you all to start dialogue over, and the entire city to talk about is what is that soul and personality? Because that's what's going to set the city apart.
Yeah, yeah, and then but that what you just said, like hearing you say that, and hearing it, and we've had many conversations, Kim, and you're not saying anything now that you haven't said, but I'm glad you're saying it so they can hear it, because there is an automatic mistrust when white people show up in our community. Automatic. That's not nothing you can do anything about. It ain't nothing. Well, it's just the history of our country. But we have to know people are genuine and real and authentic about wanting to help and show up in the community. The way you just sat here and talked, I have yet to hear Commissioner Fezzik or Vice Mayor Fournier talk to us. They talk about us, but they don't talk to us. And that's because that commissioner doesn't. She doesn't.
She does.
And that commission, they're colleagues. They're on the same level to talk, right? But we have to do better. And that's our problem too, because we're not involved like we should be.
Right.
Just because I show up, I can't say we're showing up, because
Right.
that's just me.
Right.
I don't represent we.
Right.
I am here for me. And we have to get there. I'm talking them 80s babies, them 70s babies. We have to show up because we are now the ones that are going to inherit these decisions, to carry this baton. And in that generation, they never pass the baton. They die with it.
But let me ask you a question. Why is it that because to me, when I'm listening to her, Commissioner Beverly Perkins, when I'm listening to her, she keeps saying money. Someone's trying to get money. It's all a money. It's all a money game. It's a payout. What is the reason behind her saying that this is a payout for certain individuals, or like what do she?
I think she should say it because I think she should say who she's think. Well, she got a problem with RMA getting paid. We know that because she want that going. But I think she need to say who else she thinks is getting paid because we know the gatekeepers getting paid in the community. But is she talking about them? Is she talking about the gatekeepers getting paid? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I keep hearing that because what I do not understand is that we have actually, and I'm not trying to take away from the downtown project, but we have actually contractors that come in and build. They get paid, right? But then we also have contractors that was born and raised in the city of Pompano that can't even get on the project. But people from outside of the city of Pompano, but they get paid. Is any other commissioner sitting up there saying, or was that company about to get paid because they finna build this big old building over here by the beach? I mean, I'm just...
One or two things got to happen. We got to get in position and prepared because I don't know what these contractors are or not doing. I don't know. But it's going to be hard to say when you say that people in our community come and get in contracts when I'm in the community, I got a contract and she don't want me to have this contract. So do you want people from the community to have a contract? Because there's 4 ladies, 2 of which from the community who have a contract, not just 2, there was actually 3 that they don't want to have the contract. So it's like what you're saying, you want people from the community to have the contracts, but the commission is trying to get rid of the people who got the contracts because it's not the people they want to have the contracts. And I'm not opposed to it. I want everybody to make money.
So then it does go back to being personal if it's not the person that you want to have the contract, right? Let's call it a spade a spade.
Yeah, it is. It very much is.
I'm so glad you did.
Wow. It very much is.
Because you get to get this information, and guess what? Now your conversations are going to be about everything that we talked about here.
That's true.
You're able to give that to someone else, and with that trickle down effect, when you give it to them, guess what they get to do? Give it to someone else. Last night I left Will Economics, and it was one of my friend girls' birthday. A lot of the girls, some of the girls who I have conversations with, they're younger than me. And I have those conversations because I talk about different things. So it was her birthday. We went over there. And it was a group of 4 girls. 25, 31. I don't know the other 2 age. But in that area, I'm 41. I'm 10 years older than everybody was there. And the one that was 25 said, well, what's the tea? What's going on with the downtown project? Because I don't know what's going on. I was able to sit there for an hour. When you called me, I was able to sit there for an hour and give them everything that I got. And when I left her, she said, I need to start coming to these meetings because I want to get involved because my people don't know what's going on. The people my age don't know what's going on. And they went to saying things that their mom told them about our Commissioner Perkins. And so now they're able to get another story. And I'm sending videos. I got clips. Let me show you what she's saying. Let me show you what she's doing. Let me show you this list. Let me show you that. So the reason I'm glad that you're here because we talk to different people. And now you're able to get the information. So now when I say, okay, I got West the Tea coming up. We got a new networking event. And I got Miss Kim, Miss Suzette, and new one. I'm going to go. And let me tell you something. When I plan those events, I send everybody a message. And now that you're here, I know I'm going to see your face there. and I know that you're going to tell it to someone else and someone else. And this is where it starts with community.
Right.
And this is how we start to normalize those conversations. And this is how we get involved.
That's definitely a conversation that needs to be had because
It is, and it's not. It doesn't need to be had from an emotional space.
Right.
Take your emotions out of it. Logic, intelligence. We're very smart. 1 + 1 gotta eat 2. 1 + 1 gotta be 2. 2 times 2. You know, we gotta keep making things multiply because I'm looking at that 6.5. If it would have came into the community, it's not about it just going to nonprofits. It's investing it and investing in what's the return on those investments. How can that 6.5 make us another 6.5?
That's
what my mind was thinking about.
Investments.
Yeah.
And even with, and correct me if I'm wrong, because what I'm gathering from it when I hear you guys talk, you know, this is all new to me. So with us using public financing, that's an investment.
It absolutely is.
That's an investment.
Absolutely.
And just getting the information, it's an investment that the community is going to put, and it's going to come back to the community.
Yeah.
And it's a debt that's due. I keep hearing from the commission about, you know, that's a lot of debt to take out. They said we need to stop on the debt. Listen, the Northwest community has been waiting for their turn to have an investment, a significant investment to drive economic development for over 30 years. Other parts of the matter of fact, the CRA, Northwest CRA was put in place first. The East CRA district came second.
And
The East built up.
yes, they
The
do.
Northwest is now, right? So now it's time for the investment and y'all want to close the wallet?
You know what? Do you want to talk about that? How important that is? That's probably the most important discussion, one of them tonight. The beach. So the CRA issues $10-12 million worth of bond. Let's say they spent $20 million of public money. Imagine if they hadn't done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh no, you're going into debt, you're issuing bond. $20 million. Do you know what that East got back? The property value went from $10 million to $70 million. There was $360,000 a year now in city revenue coming in, over $1 million in rent and percentage rent coming in from the tenants, the job creation, etc. That little $20 million public investment, and I say little because it was 5 acres, and we got huge amounts, and I'm not even going to go on and on, but the economic spinoff is coming. Now it's the downtown's turn. We're talking about issuing $130 million worth of bonds. One of our commissioners throws out $400 million. Well, that math, I call it voodoo math sometimes, because it adds interest and it adds this and it adds this and it adds everything. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up spending $400 million. That'd be the same as, like I just told you, the $20 million we spent on the beach. Okay, double it.
Right.
$40 million. All right, let's say we're going to issue a $130 million bond. Get this downtown started. And all of a sudden, can you imagine, instead of 5 acres, it's 70. And it's $130 million, and the money and the return, $200 million in profits, $200 million in new revenues. The TIF, we're going to keep moving anyway, and even though they didn't vote on that public financing, we're going to keep moving, and we're going to get money. We're going to have to keep investing in that area because it's time.
They keep building on the beach. Let me tell you, I can't remember what year that parking lot was built. That's on the beach.
The garage?
The garage.
Not the garage. On the other end. Near where the pizza shops and across from the water. From the water.
Yeah, the surface lot. Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but I'm gonna find out. But they built that parking lot, right? They get ready to tear that parking lot down to put the W
Right.
on top of that parking lot.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think the company Briscoe, is that the restaurants? That's the owners of the restaurant. They named Briscoe.
Baresco.
He has that family has 3 restaurants? 4 restaurants out there?
Yeah, they have beach
Like
house
4.
and yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I know about my beach. If I don't know about nothing else, I know about my beach.
So listen, we can talk all night about.
We gotta run this one back.
But I think that you gotta come
Listen,
back.
you gotta come
You
back
gotta
before
come
you
back.
move
We
on.
gotta keep having this conversation. But listen, you guys, make sure you subscribe. Just 2 more things. I want you to put up the sponsorship so I can let people know we got to sponsor people. Listen, shout out to our sponsor. They the reason we keep being able to pay Step and not me feed him Sunday dinner no more. Okay, so shout out to our sponsor T&M Cleaning Services for being our sponsor. And shout out to the people who subscribe. We are officially at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So, Steph, we getting up there. We got a goal to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. And as always, this doesn't happen without community. You know, I do it for community, but it doesn't happen without community. So I want to make sure I shout out T&M Services, Environmental Services, Tom McMahon and the McMahon family for their support of the podcast. I appreciate them. And listen, y'all subscribe, like, share, let everybody know. We were only on YouTube tonight. We weren't on Facebook. So make sure y'all share, let people know. A lot of information got dropped tonight. Yeah. We got an outro video tonight, Steph, and I want you to loop it because this outro video is pictures of 7th Avenue where I was living when I called you.
Yes.
And I want people to see, and I want you to loop it twice so people can see what it looks like now. I took the pictures 2 years ago, but it still looks like that now. And as always, I'm your host, Serica.
I'm your co-host, Shakay.
Thank you to my guest, Kim Breesmeister with Iron May, LaShore Moorhorn, you notary and tax preparer. Y'all make sure y'all get with my girl. Tax time coming up. All right. Steph, thank you. We had you working tonight.
Yeah, we had you working tonight. We rolled out tonight.
Yes. And we're going to see y'all around next Thursday, 7 p.m. Bottom Up Podcast. We out.
Peace.
That was a good one.
It was. When I think of love, I think of the war being over. Weapons of mass destruction finally being destroyed, one machine at a time. Because you are the one, Trinity, be my infinity. Never let me go far beyond the flesh that holds us. Let's encode our code into the cheat code. We so encrypted the way we slip in and out of spaces without folks knowing our IP address. Hell, we're intellectual property with the patent and the copyright. We so right that we could be white, labeled, franchise. Hell, baby, we're brand new to this side of love, that free love. That you're not my property, I don't own you type. Cause I'm honored to know you, to be in your presence is a gift. Because you don't owe me anything, and I don't owe you either. But I thank you for your time. I really want you to be my person.
I am a lover, come and discover. Foxes and moles and birds and nests. When we in our zone, yeah, we both can rest. Gonna rest. Joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Joy and pain, sunshine. And since it's gonna rain, we gon' be alright. Chillin', enjoy the way I grew in pain. I wanna laugh at all, it's just a game. Let's play, let's stay, let's get high. All up in the subs, like we stars in the sky. Light signs, love lines, written by the hands of God at one time, two times.
Tell me, Neo, will you come back for me? Or let me sleep in a bed of lies because you're too afraid to face your fears with us? There's no need to fight each other. Too many secret agents sent out to destroy us. We're not each other's enemy. We love God, life, time, and our family. Well, not all of them, but you know the ones that stood in the fire with you. Them Shadrach, Meshachs, and Abednegos. Our number one goal is to be free of all the negativity. Ain't no bad vibes around here. There's no need to fake it around me. Because I know what it's like to feel like you can fly, but the system keeps trying to put you in boxes and cages. But we eagles soar anyways. We stand for something.